Hello world, hello YouTube land. Right, back to my normal videos now. Rather than moaning about Google and the news, I'm going to be moaning about comics instead. Just a little bit of moaning about doing this one, because I'm enjoying the book overall. It's Sheltered number 6. I'm going to read out my review from Geeked Out Nation. There's a sort of art you get inside. Not bad, just not outstanding, that's all. Works well with the story though. It's not bad art, it's just, you know, kind of average. Right, so here's the review from Geeked Out Nation, my written review. Here we go. Review of Sheltered number 6, the positives of the book. Lots of things happening at the end of the book. It's exciting eventually. It's got a yucky front cover that will appeal to the more ghoulish comic book reader, and there's huge plot progression at the end of the book. And the negatives: makes fun of people who read books like Sheltered. It's got average art in my opinion, a lot of tension building before the payoff. Bottom line, big things happen at the end of the book, but you have to wade through a lot of dross to get there. So here's my review. So here we go again. A new year and beginning of a new arc following our favourite Lord of the Flies inspired preppers. A camp of scared and paranoid children armed to the teeth, led by the predictably charismatic and nutty as a coconut Lucas. The first arc, now available as trade paperback and well worth getting, ended with the slaughter of all of the adult stroke parents and the camp descending into a dictatorship, with the younger children increasingly acting like unsupervised spoiled brats, and the older children beginning to question just what they have now got themselves involved in. Dictator Lucas is not too keen on dissent, as always happens in any dictatorship. All dissenters are dealt with in a brutal and inhumane way. It seems that Lucas is happy to let the younger children do whatever they want, but the one thing they mustn't do is question his authority. The first 2/3 of Sheltered number 6 details life outside of the camp, and follows the progression of an order made by one of the adult members of Camp Safe Haven. We see how they have ordered some solar panels and how the order gets screwed up, leading to a last minute change of delivery plans by a man desperate to minimise his losses on the deal. There are 3 main characters in this plot diversion, and apart from the predictable nerd bashing, one of them reads books and thus gets no girls, it just feels like a whole lot of time wasted before we get back to the real action on Camp Safe Haven. I can understand why they've done this, as it can get all a bit too serious and po-faced if the entire plot is centered on the camp. But the seriousness of it is kind of the whole point in my opinion. I also don't understand why comic book writers always insist on making fun of the nerds, who are after all the very kind of people who are buying their books in the first place. It's never made sense to me, as why would you want to insult the people who you are dependent on making a living from? But I'm trained all intelligent book reading people as sad sacks that can't get a date. You're basically laughing at your own readers and calling them all losers. How does this make any good business sense? If anything, surely you want to be blowing smoke at their collective backsides and portraying them in a good light, don't you? After the ill-judged and unnecessary nerd bashing of the first 2/3 of this issue, we get back to the meat of the story, thankfully, and the story is back to where it should be. After driving through the snow on the way to the increasingly hellish Camp Safe Haven, the 3 delivery men nervously head off into the snow to talk to a deeply suspicious Lucas. Will the increasingly paranoid Lucas deal with it sensibly and effectively? Will the younger, out-of-control children behave themselves when faced with the visitors? And what will happen when the visitors discover that there are no adults on the camp? To get the answers, then buy the book and all will be revealed. No spoilers from this reviewer, but I can reveal that what happens is the highlight of the book and more than makes up for the disappointing and predictable nerd bashing of the first 2/3. Before I wrap up this review, I'd be amiss not to mention that Ivy in the After Story PrepNet Survival Cast newsletter, where it confidently asserts the following: the temperature will rise, this much you can bank on. Pretty funny stuff, as I'm sure you're all aware that America has just seen record low temperatures for this time of the year. Poor old Al Gore, things just aren't going as he predicted, are they? It makes for some amusing moments though, and even a comic like Sheltered isn't immune from them. Leaving the global freezing debate aside, is it freezing now? This issue of Sheltered is ups and downs. It begins on a down, but tension quickly rises and it ends on a huge up. The artwork, whilst not of the highest quality, is perfectly suited for the story. That story is progressing nicely, and because of the events that take place at the close of this book, it's well worth following for a few more issues yet. And I gave it a 7.6 out of 10. This might not seem too high, but I'll give a 7 to a good comic, and a 7.6 as a good heading towards very good. I'll give it like a very good comic an 8, and excellent 9, and perfect immediately a 10. So a pretty good comic. Some unnecessary taking the piss out of people who read comics, which I don't get that. I don't understand that. What's the point of that? But overall, pretty good. Thanks for checking out my review. So I've got a bit of a cold, that's why I'm a bit, stuttery and a bit sniffy. Yeah, if you want to check out the full review, then check out Geeked Out Nation. I'll leave a link down below, and please check out all the other excellent reviews on that site. That's it for me. Thanks for checking out my review, and I'll see you all later. Take care, guys. Goodbye.